welcome back to Binkerbelle's Yarning. Today is Wednesday, which means it's We Learn Wednesday, and we're going to talk about yarn bowls. So I scoured the internet, looked everywhere for the origin of yarn bowls. Where did they come from? Why are they so popular? Because they just kind of sort of popped up recently. So absolutely no behind the scenes or backstory for yarn bowls outside of really cute stories about people remembering their grandmothers having a bowl to keep their yarn from rolling around. And that is the whole purpose of a yarn bowl, is to keep your yarn in one spot so that it's not rolling all over the place when it's in a ball. Some people do like using them for cakes just because it's easy to set your hook or your needles down in them and your project on top and move them around. So I have an actual yarn bowl here, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's picked up at Michael's. Right, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now you can get pre-made ones like this. This one happens to be metal. You can get them in ceramic, you can get them in wood. I've seen stone ones. Of course, those ones are extremely pricey. I do find that most yarn bowls are very expensive. This one was half price. My mom actually picked this up for me as a gift, which I thoroughly and totally appreciate because I absolutely love this bowl. Now it's good for smaller projects, smaller balls of yarn. So putting a whole cake in this doesn't quite work, or one of those jumbo balls, just because it's too small to actually fit them in it. But as you can see, it has the swirl that you slide your yarn in here and up through here so that it feeds out of this spot here. These are great as opposed to the ones that just have a hole, because you can remove your project from the bowl itself and put a new one in. Whereas the ones that have a simple feeder hole without this little swirl thing, once your project's in, that's it. That's the bowl you're using. There's no removing it from the bowl to switch projects until you're actually done that particular ball of yarn. So alternatives to ready-made yarn bowls. I have a basket here. It actually has a bunch of little balls in it because I'm using it for a multicolor project. So that's a great option. Another one is this guy here. Now this is just a little metal flower pot or pan that I picked up at the dollar store. So it's a good size. It fits an actual cake in it. If you wanted to, you could take some snips and actually make the little swirly thing or a little slit in it to feed your yarn. The problem with that though is that you'll have to bend the sides because otherwise your yarn will get caught on it. Another option is to put a punch. And again, same thing, you got to make sure that the sides are really smooth, otherwise your yarn will catch on it. So here's another option here. This is actually a beautiful wooden salad bowl that picked up at IKEA. Absolutely gorgeous. It's actually bamboo. And again, if you wanted to, you could definitely use a Dremel or a drill to create that little swirl in it or to drill a hole. Right, so that's another really great option. It's actually one that I use quite often for my larger projects, just because it's perfect size to fit a whole cake. So there's that. And then there's this basket here. It's just a regular bread basket, and again, it's something that I use for my larger projects because it does have a larger circumference and it fits a larger ball in it. So those are my yarn bowls. And then I found this here. I thought this was pretty cool. Now this is actually a condiment holder for barbecues and picnics, but I thought it was really cool in that you could put several skeins into it, whole skeins, instead of re-rolling them into balls, and you can use them as a center pull when you're doing multiple color projects or if you're doing graphgans or whatever. And this is the one. Yeah, this one also lifts right out. So if you don't want that, you want just this part of it. So I thought that was a pretty neat idea for storing multiple skeins that you're working on. So that's that for yarn bowls. Be creative, be inventive. It really is a great option. I really do like them, just to keep everything together so that I can move the whole project at once. I've packed my yarn bowl with my project, so it literally just goes right into my yarn bag and off we go. Yarn bags are another great option. You can get little project bags, or you can make a project bag, or it's just a simple handle that goes over your arm so that you can knit or crochet on the go. Reusable bags are also a great option. You can find lots of different alternatives to bowls at Michael's, Joann's, online, all that wonderful stuff. So explore, let me know what your yarn bowls look like. Do you have somebody that made one for you? Do you use a box? That's another fantastic option. So yeah, let me know what your yarn bowls are. Leave me a comment, shoot me an email, whatever. I'd really be curious as to what you guys use for your yarn bowls. So in the description, I've put several links to yarn bowl options. So there's Etsy, which is always a great option because then you're supporting small artisans. There's also an Amazon.ca and an Amazon.com link if you want something a little more factory made. I also put a link to Darn Good Yarns, which has a beautiful selection of yarn bowls as well. And the perk to that one is there is a coupon code. So Binkerbelle's yarning 15. Use the coupon code and you get a discount on your yarn. So, well, on your whole order actually from Darn Good Yarn. So that's great. Let me know what your yarn bowls look like and we'll see you later. Bye.